So, I hope you're doing well today. Today, I'm going to be talking about existing versus thinking. And what do I mean by that? What do you mean existing, Raj? Well, right now you're existing. And when you're in the existing mode, you are here right now. You are present. You are just being you. The thinking mode, or I can call it the psychological mode, is when you are not here right now. It's when you are thinking about some kind of future outcome, or you are worried about the past, and you're just not really here. You're not existing anymore. And the thing with this is that it causes most of all the stress for everyone, ever. Because when you are in the existing mode, you are able to see much more clearly. Like you can notice colors, you can notice, like if you look at my background, or you look at your background, you look at the table, you look at wherever you are, you really focus. Then you realize that you are there because your senses have been heightened. Your focus is heightened. It's like when someone is painting, or they are driving, perhaps, although people multitask with driving a lot as well because it's autopilot. So let's say you're just doing something which requires your 100% attention in that moment. Cutting something with scissors. For me, that feels like something that's not, that I'd need to focus on because I don't want to cut my hand. So there's this word that is become very popular now called mindfulness. It is being here, really being here. And why is it so popular? Is because it allows a person to become calm. You become calm because you're really here. And it was useful for me to really go into this when I was learning about it in the past, because I wanted to know how does this thing work? I don't want to just try some random thing. That's just how I was, right? I wanted to try stuff that I knew is going to be useful for me. And this is probably why a lot of people don't want to meditate or don't want to do things that require them to be present, because they don't really fully grasp the benefit for them, or they haven't experienced it yet. So it doesn't feel fun, right? It doesn't feel enjoyable. Why do I want to put myself through that torture? If I said to you that you eat this chocolate cake and then you're going to become calmer, you would do it because you know what that tastes like. You know that it's going to feel good to do that. But to become present is not easy. Nothing in life that is worth it is really easy, is it? So that's what I mean by existing. I mean just being here. And I think it's a bit more than mindfulness. That's why I'm not using that word right now. Because when you are existing, you are able to tap into something better, something even more higher than simply just being here. When you're existing, you're able to let go of your assumptions and your beliefs, your fears, your thoughts. And you are able to tap into almost like darkness. You're able to tap into darkness. And then you might be thinking now, okay, now you lost me, Raj. What do you mean darkness? All I mean is we know what we know. We know what we know. And often we stick to that realm, the knowing what we know realm. But then we also know what we don't know, right? We know what we don't know. I know that I can't fly a plane. Simple, right? Simple fact. So I won't try and fly a plane. But then there's also this other part where we don't know what we actually do know. We don't know what we do know. And what I mean by that is we can tap into greater wisdom that is innate within us. But we just don't know it yet sometimes. It's this secret store of power and potential that is there within all of you. It's there. You just don't know it yet, maybe. You don't know the extent of it. Maybe you know some extent. You don't know the extent of it because you are not aware. And that's another word that comes up a lot. Awareness. When you are aware of something, it's like, yeah, I know that thing. I understand that thing. I can see it. But if you're not aware of it, you don't get to enjoy the wisdom of it. You don't even know, right? So when I said earlier about tap into the darkness, what I mean is to tap into the things that you don't actually know yet. Allow yourself to let go of just this realm of what I know. And when you let go, it's almost like you illuminate a new path. You illuminate different areas of yourself, those darkness parts. You can access the darkness, the parts that you are not aware of yet, the parts that you know, but you don't know you know. And that's possible in that existential, existing mode. And how is that different from what I said earlier, which is the thinking? You might be wondering. The thinking and the psychological. Psychological is all based on what I do know. What have I experienced before? It's all based on the memories, the past. It's based on intellect. And when I say intellect, I mean the calculator of your brain. The brain that has experienced things. The brain that has, it's like when people say, yeah, I know because it happened before. Yeah. I know exactly what's going to happen because this exact thing happened. That's the intellect working. Sometimes it's not true though, right? It's like when somebody says, I'm not going to go into that relationship because it feels like exactly what I had before and that was not nice, so I'm not going to go into it. And that's thinking. How do you know that's true? How do you know that's true? And I'm repeating that because I'm saying, how do you know for sure 100% that it's going to happen that way? No, you don't. It's an assumption. It's using the data, the knowledge that you have from past experiences to predict the future. And this can be troublesome, right? It for sure was for me because I was overthinking and anxious about everything. I was anxious about making small decisions because it felt like danger. And the thing is, like, any small decision felt like danger, even if it was unrelated to something else. So let's say I had to go and speak in front of an audience. I would relate that back to some things from my past without knowing. It was unconscious, right? It was a psychological way of living. It was just automatic. So it just happened. And it's all of these connections happening in the brain, this thinking process, and the feelings and the emotions, the triggers. I'm not saying it's easy to get out of that. I'm just saying if you are able to access another way of living, the existing, the being, the wisdom, then you can create so much evidence in that area that you start outweighing the psychological stuff. I'm not saying to try and get rid of anything or try and figure out all of your psychological patterns. This is why psychology is huge, right? Therapy is huge because it's trying to figure out the patterns. I'm not saying you have to do that. What I'm saying is instead, how about you tap into another way of living? So you don't have to go into the psychological stuff. You can if you want, but I don't think you have to. And when I said evidence, all I really meant was imagine being in a court and there's your assumption, there's your belief, there's your fear you think is going to happen based on the thoughts, based on the memories, based on the psychology. So you're definitely feeling it. You're definitely feeling all of the reactions. It doesn't feel nice, no. And then here's this evidence that you have against it. And that evidence comes from the existing mode. The evidence comes from a different part of you, which is saying, hey, what if this is not true? Because do you remember that time where this was not true? And can I look at this in a different way? Can I actually rise above it and then think, yeah, I understand that these are my thoughts. This is coming from these memories. Or this is just coming from memories. I'm not even saying these memories. This is just coming from the brain. And you can just let it go. You can just say, okay, I get it. I get it. Is this true? And you can go into that watching mode. And this is, I guess, it's called spirituality of the East and all over the world, really. But I don't even want to use that word because that could be taken as so many things. That could be taken as someone doing all sorts of strange stuff, cultural stuff that spirituality is taken on. All I mean is tapping into that part of you which is more than just body and mind. That part which everyone has experienced, every single person. So if you're thinking, no, I don't know what you mean, everyone's experienced this. You go and you walk past a family, for example, in the sunshine, and you're walking. You see them having fun, they're smiling, and you're feeling something inside you, that warm, fuzzy feeling. You're just watching and it lights you up. That's the existing mode. That's the mode. Or when you're in nature and you're walking and you're just connecting with everything around you. That's the existing mode. It's not some place that you have to be a yogi and live in a cave to get to. No, it's happening all the time. All you have to do now is just raise your awareness to it. Like I said earlier, you illuminate that part of yourself. So now you can see more of it. It's like adding light to a room slowly. And now I can see what's in the room. Okay, I can see better. Everyone's going into this all the time. All you have to do now is just raise your awareness. See it more, notice it more. Do things that help you notice it more. And here's an example, like sometimes people will take action based on their thinking and the fears and the psychological part of themselves automatically, right? And we know deep inside, this is not good. This is why people guilt themselves, because deep inside we know this is not what I want. I don't really want this. It's going into that place of like the heart. I don't really want this. It's not making me happy. It's not making me happy deep, deep inside. I'm not talking about surface level happiness. I'm not talking about your thought-based or emotional based happiness, which is like, yeah, I need to do this because this is going to make me feel good. You know the difference. I don't need to explain this to you. You know somewhere deep inside, there's a difference between true feeling of joy versus these unfulfilled, perceived moments of happiness. So, how can you do this? I'm not going to give you all of the answers because it's different for everyone. This is not going to be a, you do this, you do that, and then everything's changed. It's an awareness muscle. It has to be trained. And you have to have moments of realization, revelations, you can call them. That's what's been most useful for me. Over time, I've been doing the work to increase my awareness, but not just that. I've also had massive moments of realizations, having conversations with people, doing certain things that have helped me get there. It's like exponential growth at times and then slow growth at times. So how can you do this? Think to yourself, what can you do to raise your awareness? Because then you go towards liberation. And this is what they talk about in Buddhism. They talk about liberation. And actually in all religions, there's this talk about liberation. All of the religions are based on this, of getting into that mode of, I'm not controlled anymore by myself, by my mind. Instead, I notice it and I am living in a different modality, which is based off me being conscious and consciously taking actions, consciously shaping my life. All the religions are talking about this. I guess that's why religion became so popular, because it's a topic that everyone inside connects to. And we connect to that because that is our nature. It really is. And I know that's probably a line out of some, that's probably a line that you'd hear like someone like the Buddha say, it's in our nature. It sounds all cheesy, but it's true. It's in our nature. We ultimately go towards our nature. Nature is within everything around us, right? It's a fact. It's a fact. Everything is nature. So why don't you align with nature? So much more fun than trying to figure things out through thinking. Because that's like saying this one small me knows more than everything out there, which knows everything. And the thing is, I say that, right? But you feel that as well, because It's like when you're struggling and you're working with your mind and you're overthinking, that feels hard, doesn't it? That feels difficult. And I don't want anything to feel like that. I don't want to wrestle myself. Why not just go with what is flowing? What's there? Why don't you just make it simple for yourself? That's something I say to people a lot. How do you make this simple for yourself? Because it's not laziness or it's not taking the easy road. No, it's actually taking the it's taking the best and most powerful road. Because from this way of living, everything is possible. All of the most successful CEOs, they all talk about not that they had all of these amazing plans. No, they say that the best way they've been able to grow is firstly to surrender to something else, to realize that they are not just this one person who can do everything. They surrender and they tap into that inner power. That's what gets people to where they want. And the thing is, not just that, you get there while enjoying the ride, consciously seeing everything around you. It's like being on a train and watching the scenery instead of being like narrow-minded. And that's what I think can happen when you are just focused in a thinking way. Thinking is a great tool. We need thinking, of course. And I'm not saying to get rid of the thinking. I'm saying it's a tool that can be used by you rather than it trying to use you. That doesn't make sense at all. All of these tools are available to use, but you're at the driving seat, not being a passenger locked in the back seats who's thinking like, who's this madman driving the car? Who's this mad woman driving this car? I'm just in the back seat while all of this happens, watching. Or not even watching, just like being blindfolded in the back. Instead, get in the front seat. Take the ride. It's your ride to have. No one else's. Is your ride. Get into that existing mode, the being mode. Tapping into that wisdom that we all have that you can't see. The thing that you know, but you don't know you know. And do things that allow you to get there. Because it's not like you wake up one day and it happens. It has to take some precision. Like, for example, I'll end the video with this, but for example, I look after my physical body because it's the container. It's the container for all of the other things. If I'm feeding myself well, if I'm moving well, not like being an athlete, no, just giving myself the right energy, giving myself the right fuel. Simple. If I'm doing that, if I'm learning, if I'm experiencing things, if I'm doing certain practices like meditation, which allow me to practice stillness and existing in a very powerful way, if I'm practicing these things, then yeah, it becomes your being if you do it like that. And also having moments of revelations by talking to people, by challenging your thoughts. That's why I love to do what I do, because I get to challenge people's thoughts all the time and see their faces like, they're just like, oh, never thought of it that way. It's those revelations that change things. The more revelations you're having and the more gradual awareness you're building, those two combined, wow, like anything is possible, anything. So to end, I want to hear what you got from this video, from going from the existing to, no, sorry, the other way around. Going from the thinking to the existing mode. What did you get from today? What was most useful? Send me a message because I want to hear. I want to hear what it is for you because it's different for everyone, right? We're all very much the same, but we have different things that have happened through our life, different blocks, different mental challenges, different experiences. So yeah, I want to hear how it was for you. And what was your one takeaway? Because I'm sure you felt something. Something inside you was like, hmm, yeah, what was that? Send me a message. I want to hear. And if there's something that you are challenged by specifically, and you've just listened to this and you're like, yeah, well, I don't know what to do about that situation now, Raj. Send me a message and I'll see if there's something I can send you or some way that I can, yeah, help you work through that challenge of the mind. All right, awesome. That's all for now. And see what comes up during the day. Because even if it doesn't come up now, something might come up later, which you're like, I remember watching that video and this connects me to it now. Awesome. Enjoy your day.